Hello, my name is Samuel Dowell. Welcome to my oral comms video. In this clip, I am facilitating a training program on October 15, 2013 that I developed for the Harrisonburg Parks and Recreation 3rd through 5th grade basketball coaches. I volunteered to create this training program for Tommy Thomas, the athletic program supervisor, because I wanted to share my extensive knowledge of coaching adolescents to new and upcoming coaches. The facilitation was developed to instruct coaches on how to design athletic drills to teach fundamental basketball skills for different skill levels. In this clip, you will observe my facilitation skills as I present new content and connect with the audience through modeling appropriate drills for the coaches. I also elicit performance from the coaches by asking them to apply the lessons they learned by creating new drills, provide them with feedback, and alter my activity design based on the needs of the audience. Let's take a look. How am I supposed to take notes?
Mental. It's on film.
Alright, so basically we're going to work on ball handling. As you saw just from the tryouts out there, we have some people that can barely dribble it with their right hand. Some can do a little bit of both. So a great drill to start out is, I'm going to say, I need 3 people to line up about, so we're going to have one right here facing me, one about 3 feet behind them, and 3 feet behind them. So you're going to be my dribbler. Now what you guys want to do is stick your arms out to the side. Now the reason why I have them do this instead of just going over cones is because it teaches the kids to stay low when they're dribbling and develop good habits instead of just dribbling upright, because in the game you want them to stay low. So we would just start out real basic. I'd say dribble with your right hand, go down the right side, and come back to the right side. And so if you could, don't have to, but just to see, you would do that. And so then once they get good at that, then you can do left. Yeah. So go right, staying down the whole way. Awesome, and coming back, sweet. And so then once they get the right, then we would do the left side. And so for the first practice, you would do that until they got good at it. Once they get good at right and left hand, then you can mix it up a little bit, and you can add in crossover, back and forth. And you can do this as the season progresses, so like once they're getting the hang of it, then you go on to the next one. Another cool thing that I really like about having the kids here instead of just using cones is if you put your hands out again, and then say, I would say, all right, each person, you got to put a number out with one of your hands. So it doesn't matter what. So then when the girls go by, they have to call out the number, so they have to keep their eyes up looking at you instead of focusing at the ball. So they would have to say 2, and then go on to the next one. 1, go on to the next one. 1. And so that teaches them to keep their eyes up as well as staying low. So you're kind of adding more things as the season goes along. So they're getting better at the same time. Instead of, if you had cones, just being like, all right, keep your eyes up, stay low. Now you can say that, but it doesn't really force them to do it. So this is a fun way for them to do it. On both ways. And the beauty about this drill is you can advance it as the season goes on and make it harder and still make it fun at the same time. Thank you. Yeah, good drill. Thank you. So that's that. Alright, and then the last one that I want to go over is defense. Basically, I firmly believe defense is one of the most important skills in basketball, but it's really hard to get kids to buy in because it's also the hardest and it takes the most effort and energy. So the trick that I battle with is how do you make defense fun for them to do, but also teach defense? Because especially at this level, if your kids know how to stay low and play defense, you're going to win a lot of games because not that many people can shoot. So if they can keep people in front, they'll be really successful. So I thought about this a lot. How do you make defense fun? Before I go into how to make defense fun, does anyone want to come up and show me the proper defensive stance that you should be in?
Sure.
All right.
I'm going to get
Shake the
low,
rust off.
and I'm going to get my hands out wide.
All right.
And I'm going to slide.
Now, when you get low, do you want to be on the heels of your feet or the balls of your feet?
I would say balanced. Kind of
Balanced?
forward maybe.
Okay.
Head leaning forward.
All right, that's good. That's he said it exactly right. You want your feet a little bit wider than your shoulders. Again, you want to be down in athletic stance with your hands out, ready to slide from either side. And one more thing is when you slide, you want to lead with the foot in the direction that you want to go. So if I'm sliding, I want to lead with the right and come back with the left. Lead with the right, come back with the left. You don't want to crisscross like this. So that's how you slide. All right, cool. So to make defense fun, I've done a whole bunch of different things, and it's really as creative as you want to be. But I've used the Z drill. Is there some?
Yeah, I got some.
I can use this too.
Go ahead.
All right. So if we got our little basketball court right here. So basically, the Z drill teaches them to slide and it teaches them to pivot at the same time. So we're just going to use the half of the court, and what they're going to do is they're going to start here, and they're going to slide diagonal to half court. And then once they get a half court, they got to pivot and slide diagonal facing the basket. Then they got to pivot, slide diagonal this way, and then pivot and slide diagonal back. Now, if you just had them do it like that, some girls would kind of think that's, I'll leave that up there, would kind of think that's like punishment, like, oh, this is fun, this is tiring, and all that. So, what I like to do is think of some fun ways to get in a defensive stance. So one thing I did with my sister's team is I basically told them, all right, you guys are all the Queen of England, so we're going to curtsy, like we're the Queen, so we're going to curtsy down low, get in a defensive stance, and you got to talk in a British accent as you go across the whole thing. And so the girls loved it because they're just walking, and I have a terrible British accent, so I'm not, but I like tea and crumpets, and they're like going across the whole thing, and so they're having fun, but at the same time, they're staying low and emphasizing the defensive stance. Another thing is get in your sumo stances, they get down low and act like sumo wrestlers and going across. The whole thing is to teach them to stay low as they're doing the drill. Because for defense, if you stay low, you can stay with anyone. But if you stand up playing defense, then you're going to get beat. So teaching them that habit to stay low the whole time is really crucial, especially for them moving forward. Another great defensive drill that I like to do is called defensive boot camp. And I can actually explain this with you guys staying in your seats. So basically, we would work on slide right and slide left at the start. So then I would have you guys all there are getting your defensive stances or sumo stances or whatever you want to call it. And then you can make like funny names for like slapping the floor and stuff like that. So I say slap the floor, everyone slaps the floor. I say go right, and then you guys would all go right, go left, and you can make like cool names up for it too. Jump up and get the rebound, you have to go get the rebound. And as the season progresses, you can add more and more defensive elements to the defensive boot camp basically. And then you can kind of have a lot of fun with that by like I said, making different names for it and all that. You can teach closing out with a hand up, add that into it, just keep adding more and more things so you can work on multiple things at the same time. Retreat step and all that. So I would definitely encourage you to start out basic and then add more and more as the season progresses. Let's see, how am I doing on time?
You're at 17 and a half.
17? Okay, cool. All right, so now that I've kind of showed you one defensive drill, one dribbling drill, and one form shooting drill. Your kids basically have a basic fundamental for shooting, for ball handling, and for defense. So what I want you guys to do is I'm going to I guess we'll just go across the room and one by one, if you could name a drill that you've done in the past, a basic drill that you've done, and then if you could kind of explain how you have kind of made it progressive across the season and kind of added stuff to it so that your kids have gotten better. And one thing I forgot to mention earlier, but the beauty about these drills is, save for little Susie, who can't even like make a free throw or anything. She might not score a point all year. She might get one rebound all year. So how does she have fun and still know that she got better and have a good time? These drills are a great way of doing so, especially for the form shooting. Say the first day she came in, she made two shots from like 2 feet away. She could barely get it up there. If you keep working with her and doing that, by the end of the season, Mom, I made 8 in a row. I made 8 shots in a row. That's a great improvement for her. She could just dribble right-handed, and now she could dribble left and cross over because you kept doing the drill, kept adding stuff. She'd be like, hey, Mom, during the season, I learned how to do the crossover. I learned how to do the in and out, that kind of thing. So practice is a great way to help, especially your lower level and newer players, improve. And it's basically their own game because they're improving and learning that way. Because in the games, they might not really have the opportunity to get that many stats like some of the more skilled and experienced players. So what I'm going to do, and we'll actually, since there's 2, 2, and 2, we'll just do teams since we don't have much time. I'm going to give each of you, so you two can pair together, a simple category. Take a couple minutes to talk it over, and then you can come and share a drill that you've used or that you just thought up to everybody.
Sam, do you have another card? Our girls don't do layups.
They don't do layups?
They're too young.
Okay. I try to keep it as simple as possible in this role.
They're too short.
They're too short.
Let me see.
Did you see tonight?
I'm going to give
We
must have missed that.
We try to teach them layups, but we don't do drills on layups. We're working on dribbling.
All right, let me see.
We're working on defense. We're working on position. We're working on passing.
They have position.
Okay, position. Well, now I just give you a nice try.
Yeah, we didn't say how you're going to do it. All right.
Our position.
You got passing. It's pretty simple. All right. Just give me a heads up once you guys have a drill. Guys are ready? I guess we could start in front or we give them a chance to write that down. So passing, you guys want to go first?
Yeah, that's fine. We were saying start stationary on passing, just check basic passing, chest pass, bounce pass, overhead pass, and then once you keep progressing, you can move to underneath the basket, free throw line, extend it, and back and forth. And as they're doing that, they do defensive sliding. As they're passing back and forth.
Okay.
To give them an idea of moving and passing at the same time, which I'm sure will be a lot more challenging than stationary.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great one. That's a great one. I've actually done that a lot. As far as now, let's just break it up. Since you mentioned passing, how would you teach a chest pass and a bounce pass? So if we're dumbing it down as simple as possible, you said a drills, but how would you actually teach them how to do a chest pass and a bounce pass?
Bounce pass, step by step, I would tell them step with their dominant foot, whatever one they feel comfortable with, holding the ball at their waist level, and bounce it towards the ground. And you want it halfway in between you and the partner or whoever you're passing it to. You don't want it at their feet, and just have a good follow through with their hands going out.
That's good. And then if a good way to do that too is to put them on both sides of the free throw line, just so they have an idea of where halfway is. So they kind of have a target to aim at.
You could even start them out on the wall
Mhm.
to have the ball come back to them.
Absolutely. All right, good job, good job. What did you guys have?
Rebounding.
Rebounding? Okay, how did you teach rebounding?
I think we would start with, obviously you use the ball to miss. So you're gonna have some kids shooting, maybe one kid shooting, one person rebounding. First and foremost, they're maybe face guarding the person, they're gonna spin around, anticipate the rebound, get your hands up, be ready to box somebody out, kind of explain boxing out as the year goes on. And then later progression, maybe look at the outlet pass, rebound, turn, look, somebody calls for the outlet pass, get the ball forward quick. So you kind of incorporate rebounding, communicating